The employment relationship describes the relationship employees and employers have within the workplace. These can have an impact on the HR department depending if the relationship is seen as a positive or negative. Wellby 2009 have stated that having a positive employment relationship can contribute towards achieving the organization's long-term success. This recognizes that providing information to employees and not only consulting them with decisions but also involving them in shaping the decision is the way forward. However, there are still organizations that treat employees as an ignorant child who should recognize the management right to manage and do as we are told. The high commitment and the low commitment HR strategy links to whether employees are treated as a valuable resource or as an asset to maximize the organization.
It's an opportunity to grow.
It's always unpredictable, but it's always rewarding.
People are fantastic. The benefits are wonderful. The support that you get from your leadership and your coworkers is awesome.
When I got hired on Southwest Airlines, it was like hitting the lottery, literally.
We try to hire good people. We train them extremely well. Everybody on my team knows their job.
Well, best move I've ever made in my life was hiring on, and I still have my hot pants.
Well, back then, hot pants was in style, and it was all girls, so, hey, we had a ball.
I try to make a difference every day I come to work, and it's just by setting the example.
I think a lot of it is self-pride. I always think, what if my mother were on this flight?
As Watson 2009, whether an organization gives its best at work, it will depend how the relationship they have experienced in the workplace, and whether international or national level, to easily understand the impact employment relationship may have in the organization. It is very important to look at the 5 dimensions. The economic relationship is the contract employees have with the employers for their financial reason. Perlman 2003 stated that employment relationship is a matter of economic because individuals offer their skills and abilities to an employer for a price. The employer's point of view, individuals are hired based on the capacity they can bring. The economic considerations such as wages, salary, and the level benefits are major factors in the individual's and organization's decision to establish the employment relationship. Crowley 2013 stated that the labor market has become very diverse and the economic relationship has been affected by the level of demand and supply in the relevant labor market. Today we see that most organizations are relocating their operation to a more favorable labor market where they can benefit of cheap labor. However, organizations relocating into the UK, for example, Emirates that is based in Dubai, operate in the UK, that we have to recruit some UK staff and also bring some expat staff to train the staff in the UK. However, by operating in the UK and then recruiting UK staff, they will be operating under the UK employment law. This including the minimum wages, the work hour condition, and also the tax, which they don't have.
According to Kanuga, the political relationship relates to the balance of bargaining power with employees and employers. It relates to the political power in which each employer and employee has. For example, when employees join a trade union. The political power, especially the international organization, is in fact that they make known to the employee that their job may have to be relocated. The power of the organization is also by cutting the costs by hiring staff offshore, enabling the employer to pay the lowest possible wage and whereby trade unions are not present, giving more power to the company. Furthermore, Kanuga also states that the managerial prerogative is that once the employment contract is sealed, both parties are bound to the terms and conditions. For example, working on a shift rota or setting targets for exchange of payment. As voluntarily entering a contract, the employee can seize the agreement if no longer happy with the rules and regulations. Often, organizations with the high staff turnover tend to demand highly from employees and not provide freedom, and it becomes a problem. The balance of bargaining power often means that neither party wants to raise the issue of political relationship. Kanuga states that both parties tend to collaborate with each other by taking the employment responsibilities. The employer has the power to terminate the agreement if there is a breach of contract, including misconduct, such as theft or fights at work. However, Kaufman 1997 states that many organizations take advantage of their political power against their employees. This can sometimes be seen as unrealistic power which employees are said to have. Therefore, Kaufman states that as an individual, the staff member lacks political power and consequently can be exploited at times. Kaufman also states that the solution to this would be to be part of a union. For example, Rustico 2013 states that the Italian company Bridgestone Europe announced the closure of the factory, therefore threatening employees' jobs. However, because employees were part of a union, according to Rustico, it provided a strong voice to the employee as well as a solution in which ensured the political relationship between the two parties involved.
The psychological contract is quite different to a physical contract or document. It represents the notion of relationship or trust or understanding which can exist for one or a number of employees, instead of a tangible piece of paper or legal document which might be different from one employee to another. As defined by George, psychological contract can be defined as the sum of mutual expectations between the organization and employee. This has brought about a change in the employer and employee relationship. While in the past employment was a long-term contract with an employee acquiring skills on the job and rising through the ranks, today it is dominated by short-term contracts for highly skilled professionals and technical workers. Today staff are hired on the basis to perform specific high-skilled tasks and are let go when their specific skills are no longer required by the organization. As DeMuse and Bergman states, the workplace of today is one of increased workload and stress and decreased job security and commitment. With the lack of job security, employees now focus on immediate job needs and career management through performing meaningful work, personal growth, development of transferable skills, and networking opportunities. Trust between the two parties is crucial to building a relational psychological contract. The lack of job security would make it difficult to build this trust. Thus, as DeMuse and Bergman suggest, the loss of job security has made the employee focus on developing transferable skills and contacts, resulting in a transactional contract being formed. Demands of the modern economic environment have resulted in both the company and the employee having a changed psychological contract. Today the contract formed is more transactional and about self-actualization. Organizations and their managers need to be aware of this change, and today more than ever is need to invest time and effort in forming and managing the right kind of psychological contract with their employers and prospective employees.
Hook 2005 states that the legal relationship between the employers and its employees is determined through the country of employment. This is because the employment laws of each country will be different from another. For example, British Airways, who operate internationally but are situated within the UK, they follow the employment laws within the UK. All companies are required to offer a contract of employment to their employees, which is in the form of a offer letter, verbal agreement, or even through the employee's handbook. This agreement of employment will indicate to the employees their legal responsibility during their time of employment. For example, their sickness pay, salary and wages, annual leave, maternity leave, termination of contract and employment, data protection, where no employee's information can be given out without their permission. The national laws are employment laws which are set up in order to protect the employees from unfair dismissal. For example, if the employee has breached their contract, unable to perform their job at a satisfactory level, the employer is required to show clear justification of this and then after follow the full disciplinary procedure if this employee has breached the contract. This will allow the employee to have a fair trial. The international legal relationship problems when seeking employment in another country, for example Somalia or Afghanistan. These countries suffer from power and authority problems, which means there may not be any laws within this country, suggesting that the legal relationship would not. Law 2013 states that there are problems within the UK employment, for example, personal grievances whereby the employee has been sexually harassed, discriminated against, racially harassed, unjustified dismissal, recovery of unpaid wages as the employee did not pay them correctly. My recommendations for this would be, firstly, take the step of resolving the problem with the employer, have a plain language explanation of service, which is basically allowing you and the employee to discuss the problem together to work it out. However, if this does not work, my next recommendation to you would be contact the Employment Relations Authority, where they will sort this problem out and investigate the matter fully.